Hi everyone, this is Group 12 presenting our VB8 application to automate the monthly report of our company. Inside the application, you can see a button. After this button is clicked, a user form will show up, allowing the user to choose up to 3 workbooks for reporting purpose. In our case, the first 2 workbooks must be selected before any report can be generated. So, to remind user of that, we put a label at the button, where my cursor is pointing right now. Okay, let's open the first workbook, which contains laptop information. The user can either type the location or to browse to select one. If the user chooses to type themselves, they will be reminded if the location is invalid. Now let's browse open the file. If the user clicks the close button or the cancel button without selecting a file, a reminder message will come up. Okay, now we have selected the file to open. The name of the workbook will appear here at the top of the frame. Suppose after selecting and opening the file, the user finds out that it is actually a wrong workbook. He can browse again to select the right workbook, and the previous records will be cleared. Now we have the right workbook. Inside the frame, we can use the combo box to type or select which worksheet we want to work on. If the user clicks the next button without selecting any worksheet, a reminder will pop up. Only some worksheets which contains required columns will be considered valid for generating report. So if the user types or chooses an invalid worksheet, he will be reminded by different messages depending on which error it is. If they type a sheet which does not exist in the workbook, the error message box will pop up. If an invalid worksheet is selected, the reminder will look something like this. Notice that at the bottom of the user form, above the Generating Reports button, there are 2 option buttons giving the user the choice to show or hide the workbooks. Now let's show the workbooks first. And here it is. Now hide the workbook. It then disappears. Since we need 2 workbooks to generate reports, the Generate Reports button is now disabled. Okay, everything is done with the first page. Let's assume we successfully reached the second page. Similar to the first page, we open the workbook and select a valid worksheet. Notice that the next button is replaced by an OK button, because once the first 2 workbooks are selected, we can generate reports. As you can see, the Generate Reports button is now enabled. Clicking it, you will find a new user form, asking you to select what kind of report you want to generate. Now you can only generate the first type of report, of course. However, if you want to generate more reports, you will need to select one more workbook. Let's try it right now. Go back to the previous user form to select the 3rd workbook. This time, we need to click the 3rd tab of the multi-page control to see the interface for selecting the 3rd workbook. This tab is enabled only if we successfully select the first 2 workbooks. Now that we reached the 3rd page, we simply select the workbook and worksheet we need, just like we did before, and generate. As you can see, there are 3 kinds of reports this application can generate. Let's go through them one by one. First, let's check the first report. A label below the checkbox will remind the user to select at least one laptop type. If nothing is selected, when the Generate button is clicked, there will be a reminder. Also, if the total sales of the selected laptop types is 0 this month, a warning will pop up asking the user to select more types. Beside the list box, there are a Select All button and a Clear All button for the user's convenience. Now let's deselect the first checkbox for now and only look at the second report. It's all similar to the first one, but this one requires the user to select at least 4 companies. Otherwise, the application will complain. Finally, we arrive at the third one, which generates histograms. The user can adjust the value of beans using the spin control, like what I'm doing right now. Let's set it to 400. Now we are ready to generate reports. For now, let's select only the second report. Generate. A message will show up asking if the user would like to show data appendix. If the answer is yes, the data that we use to plot the charts will be included in the reports as well. Now let's go with yes. After the report is generated, if we go back to the user form, we can see that the second report has been disabled, and we can continue to check other reports. This time, we check the other 2 reports. The 3 reports will be in the same workbook. The third report, which is the daily net profit report, allows the user to select a data range to generate a histogram. Before the data range is selected, the OK button is disabled. Alright, let's select the data range. To make it easier for the user to identify where to select from, we highlight the data region. Let's randomly select some data and we click OK. All the reports are ready to be viewed. And the report workbook will be saved automatically in the same location where the application is. Its name will be monthly sales report plus the time it was created. Take a look at the first report, which contains a pivot table and a pie chart of different types of laptops. Next to the worksheet is the data appended to it. Okay, let's move on to the second report. There are a frequency table and a histogram for the distribution of daily net profits this month. Similarly, it has some appended data. The third report is monthly net profit by companies. You can see the summary statistics in the bar chart. Now go back to the Generate Report user form. Every report is disabled. Suppose now you want to generate another report. Just go back to the first user form. Click Generate Reports button again. You will be able to generate reports in a new workbook. After you've done generating all the reports you need, simply click the Quit button to exit the application. Clicking the Close button on the upper right corner is not allowed. Okay, that's all for the demonstration of our VBA application. Thank you for watching.